how's the team look? And what are you
Yeah.
guys expecting this year? A hell of a year last year. You
Yeah,
got
right.
to just win one more
About
game.
2 minutes away. Yeah, yeah. We're 2 minutes away, and that's kind of our theme, honestly, going into this year. No, we I think we're going to end up being stronger in just about every position. Jack obviously in the net was a huge loss for us. Him graduating, but Isaac Scholl right now is looking like he'll pop in and as a sophomore, and it's his second year. He got some varsity time last year, but
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to replace a guy like Jack. I think he had 20 some saves in that championship game last year.
Right.
I mean, it was the reason we were in it. But yeah, but I think every other spot though, I think we're going to be just stronger. I think we lost some of I shouldn't say lost. I think we graduated some of those guys that weren't really. They were still in kind of like the older system before we came on.
Right.
So now, like all of these guys, like these seniors, have been playing for me since none of them had played varsity other than maybe Jackson Brown his freshman year. But then they've all been underneath us for 3 years now, and I think that's just going to make our offense that much more powerful.
Nice.
And I mean, obviously losing Ben on the backside too for defense is great, but I think we're honestly as a unit probably stronger than we were last year on the defensive side too. So yeah, I'm excited. I think the boys are pumped, and I think we're going to score a lot of goals this year. I think our offense is going to be really, really good.
Yeah, being on the new turf field too, that's got to help. Better than Rocket.
Oh yeah. Last year was awesome. I mean, for us to be able to go out year one essentially on the turf and host all the way through. I mean, we ended up hosting sectionals, and then but yeah, it's just good to be at home. So a lot less home games this year because we were at home so much last year. But no, we got some big ones at home this year. So we got
Good.
Middleton at home, Wanakee at home, Verona at home. Like they're all coming up, and yeah, it'll be a good schedule. It'll be tough.
One of the things we're asking the coaches, what is your assessment of the overall kind of where's the state at? How are the teams? I mean, is it the same old?
Yeah. Or like in terms of who's on top.
Yeah. Who are the good teams? Who are you
Yeah,
fighting against?
I don't think that that's changed. The landscape has changed a whole lot, to be truthful. I mean, your Wanakees and Middletons and Kettle Moraine and McWanago, and hopefully we stay in that top 5, top 7 range all from here on out too. And then but yeah, it's kind of the same old tried and true. I mean, I think there's a lot of graduating last year too. From both of those teams and from those other teams, and I don't know. I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see some changes. I think there'll be some new teams might be popping in there and making some runs. But I mean, any program that has super established in the youth area is going to just continue to be there.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's our goal too. This is our second year of having a full 8th grade team and a full 7th grade team. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, we have like 24 8th graders coming in next year. So that's our goal, is to have 15 to 20 kids coming in every class. That's the only way we're going to be able to stay up there. Yeah.
So you bring up an interesting point. We had Steve Young, the football coach at Neenah, a couple of weeks. Josh and I talked to him, and we actually got into lacrosse talk because it's fascinated me. Obviously, with Owen going through lacrosse, you can see, especially football and lacrosse, that the comparison, the two, and a lot of the headbutting that goes on, because football coaches, just don't understand lacrosse. I think that's becoming more acceptable, but it seems like that key connection and one that you guys found in Neenah is really the connection in the weight room. I think in the end, that's really what the coaches want.
Yeah,
that weight room work.
That's a huge connection. And I think that was what was kind of the disconnect prior to me being there. So Steve was my first call. Once Elkin was like, "Yeah, let's go. You're going to be it," and he was basically my next call. And I said, "Hey, we need to talk. We need to have some conversations about how we get more of your guys playing lacrosse and how we get more of everyone in the weight room." Because I mean, that's really what it comes down to. I mean, I can train guys to play lacrosse. We can teach them the ins and outs and X's and O's, and throw, catch, all that. But I mean, when you're in and out of the weight room all the time, and learning that skill set and gaining muscle and speed, and like that's what Steve does. I mean, him and his staff do a great job. And Steve Camber, who's strictly our strength and conditioning coach, those guys run programs year round for basically for these kids. And I think it's a great thing that we've been able to tap into that. But it's also been able to say to Steve, like, your guys are going to get taken care of in the spring too. And he very much encourages multi sports, and he requires every kid to play some sort of spring sport. And we've seen it again. I mean, we've got football kids coming out of the woodwork to come play lacrosse again this year. So we were on the verge of 3 teams for the high school level too. But we had some of like our JV seniors that didn't come out, and which actually was, I mean, you hate to see it, but it was a little bit of a relief for us, because I didn't want to have to deal with 60 plus kids to try to get 3 teams going. And so thankfully we stayed in the 50s. so we'll have 2 bigger teams, but but yeah, all those guys coming out and having him being able to trust that the kids are going to play a good sport in the spring. I mean, it's great. It's been a super advantage for us.
So
that's cool to hear. Sorry,
the success of your program in Neenah and some of the programs here in the Fox Valley. Have you heard that other areas are trying to start programs now and try to build that lacrosse in the Fox Valley now? Yeah.
I haven't heard a lot in our area, unfortunately. And I think it's, I think when looking at the landscape of it, we have and especially in the Fox Valley, like there's us, and like Roger's doing a great job at Kimberly, doing the same success. Like we're getting kids involved, and we're getting involved with the football programs, and our ADs are super supportive. And then now we're both pumping 50 to 60 kids in the high school program, and a huge youth program that's just growing like crazy. But I think that's a little bit of a struggle that we have right now with some of the programs, like not just down here, but up in the Green Bay area and the central part of the state, is like it's hard for co-ops to grow because everyone kind of relies on everyone else. And if you're not like, and I think that's the message that the like WIA has kind of talked about too. And I don't know if they'll publicly talk about it or whatever, but when I was up there for the meeting, I asked them specifically about it, like what their thoughts were, and they said if it were up to them, they would just get rid of co-ops. But I understand that's tough because there's a lot of kids that wouldn't be able to play. But I think in order to really grow programs, I think you've got to kind of be supported by your school and just say, this is our school and this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to grow it. And you never want to leave a kid out, right? You never want to leave a kid from playing the game that, we all love. But I think we're in a little bit of a crossroad right now where I think we need more of that, where if it's 1 or 2 schools or whatever it is that just are going to say like, hey, we might have 12 kids this year, but next year we're going to have 30 kids. And then the following year, we're going to have 35 kids. And, I think it goes a long way if you're involved in that one school kind of thing, 1 or 2 school, whatever. I think it's a huge advantage for us, at least, to do that and to have support. Like we have a ton of support. Everyone in our school is super supportive, and the AD is awesome for us. And, it always gets communicated all the time. And our other coaches from other sports are being involved in it too. And they're coming to games and they're seeing what it's all about. And, that's just work that we had to do on the front end of it to say, hey, this is awesome. You guys all got to come watch this. And and Steve's been great, all the time. He's encouraging his guys to do it too. So, which is awesome
that's good to hear. And the sport of lacrosse in this area is still growing as well. So you're fighting both. How has it gone now a year or 2 into the WIAA being a sanctioned sport? What's your take? How is it?
I mean, other than the state championship, it really hasn't changed a whole lot. It's nice to have a lot more athletic directors involved in the process. For the most part, they get to deal with the seating committees and they deal with all this, this field scheduling and, who's hosting where. And that part of it has been very nice. And going to the state championship last year and seeing, kind of the production of it and not having to be a part of that production as well.
Yeah.
You can just show up and everything's taken care of for you. That part's been really nice to have the WIA involved in it. So
yeah, I never thought about that. Shout out to WLF doing all that for all those years.
oh
huh?
yeah. And there was a lot of us like wearing multiple hats, doing the coaching, doing the the youth stuff and doing the WLF stuff, where I was very happy to relinquish that hat and just let those guys take care of it. Yeah.
The WIAA does do a nice job running state tournaments in all the different
Yeah.
sports. They
Yeah,
take that serious.
I agree.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, they
Bay
do a great job.
Yeah, no question. The Bay Valley, what's your assessment? How's it looking? Is it strong? I mean, what players should we look for? That maybe not even guys on your team.
Yeah, no, I think it's still fair. I think it's still fairly strong. I mean, we moved back into the full 8 or 9 teams or whatever it is now,
Good.
8 teams. So it's not just the Valley teams are separate from Green Bay. It's all combined and together.
Sure.
So that'll make it a little bit, a little bit easier to find out who's kind of to the top and who's going to do well. But I mean, I think all 3 of us down here in the Valley are going to be at the top, truthfully. Excuse me. If I were to kind of venture a guess, and Bayport's always strong. I know they lost some numbers, but they still got a lot of kids that can play lacrosse up there.
Yep.
And then I mean Wausau, they're always fairly strong. I know they lost Nico this year, which is going to be a massive blow for those guys.
Yeah.
So I think that's what might keep them from being towards the top. But Sam Delang up there is still, I mean, one of our top attackmen in the whole conference. So, I mean, he's going to do some damage no matter who their goaltender is. And I don't know. We've got a couple seniors on our end too. Obviously Jackson Brown is going to have another big year. I mean, usually he has every year, other than the end of his sophomore campaign when he got hurt.
Mhm.
But Keen Sullivan's going to be huge out of the midfield for us. I mean, he's kind of taken over the leadership role and really done well on that. Yeah. And then, I think we have arguably the best, LSM in the state with Hunter Weinke. I think he probably should have got close to that nod as a sophomore. And he's just, I mean, no one's really going to dodge on that kid, and there isn't a ball that he drops or doesn't pick up or anything like that. I mean, I think he's one of the best in the state for sure when it comes to that. But then and then I there's Kimberly and Appleton that are always going to have some strong kids, like Cody Thorson, Kimberly's deep hole. I mean, he's so good, so big and so strong, and he does a good job of his communication back there too, to just helping out. And then they got a good sophomore goaltender too. Reed's coming in, and I mean, he kind of stymied us a little bit last year as a freshman, popping in. They put him in that playoff game, and he did it. He did a bang up job, and so I think he's going to have a good year again. He'll have a good 3 years. He's going to be tough to play against for the next 3.
Absolutely.
So yeah. But I think those are the the bigger guys that at least that I know and see day in and day out. They're always going to be tough, and so. But I think it's going to be. If I were to venture a guess, I'd say, selfishly, the three Bay Valley, the 3 Fox Valley schools are probably at the top if I were to venture a guess. So, yeah, I think a lot of people sleep on Roger and Kimberly, but he does a great job, scouting, putting in game plans, and for what he might lack in the top talent, like he does a great job, doing that and really figuring out who the opponent is. I mean, he that was our toughest game other than the state championship game for us last year, and that was our second round.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a tough game. So, but I think they're gonna sneak some wins this year. They're gonna kind of sneak up on some people, and I think they'll be a lot better than people think, truthfully.
Roger, from a coaching standpoint, it's always good for a win or two, I think, on the
Oh
record,
yeah,
purely from
yeah,
him.
yeah. Exactly. So just a big win that you're just like, oh wow, like that was good. That was good. That was really good. Not expected. So yeah, no, I think it could be any one of the three that are down here that can kind of lead the conference off. But if I were a betting man, I'd be betting on the Rockets.
So, there you go.
Take that money to Vegas.
Gotta
Let's go
say
see the
that.
Grateful Dead, right?
Dog right there. That doesn't go on record though, and you get in trouble for betting on our own team.
Well, hypothetically, we can go to the Sphere. We're going there for the Sphere. There's a lot of deadheads in the lacrosse community, and we'll
right.
If we run across a casino that has Neenah lacrosse odds, I can't help it.
Bay Valley Conference, yeah,
That's right.
hey, I'd put something on it if it was there. Definitely,
hypothetically,
definitely. Yeah.
What are just highlighting, looking forward to the early season? What are some big games on your schedule that you're looking forward to?
Well, we come right out of the gate, second game against Kimberly.
Okay,
that's going to be and then we come back the following Tuesday with a state championship rematch against Middleton.
Dang.
So I mean that's going to start out right hot right away. Yep. It'll give us a good idea of where we're going to be at, how we're going to be at, what we need to work on, what we need to fix immediately.
Cool.
So those are some big ones for us, at least early part. And then we get a little bit soft in the middle there. We have Arrowhead. We go down to Arrowhead and Marquette.
Okay.
So those are going to be big. And then we're actually heading down to the Badger Spring invite this year. So we were able to grab McWanago in that one too. Nice. So and then I mean Hudson. We're going up to Hudson, Wanakee, Verona. I mean those are all big ones for us. For early season, yeah. Two of the top three for us are two of the top. Two of the first three games are going to be pretty huge, pretty important.
So Hudson, are they still a good team? They still have lacrosse players up there?
As far as I know. I don't know if they graduated a whole lot last year. They're kind of like us, not a whole lot to lose, but I think they lost some keys. But I mean, they're going to play a Minnesota schedule. So anytime, I mean, I think there's only 4 teams from Wisconsin that they're playing.
Wow.
So I mean, anytime you can get that Twin City schedule, I mean, you're gonna be tough to play. If you can play the Twin Cities the entire season.
Hudson being in the Bay Valley didn't work.
No, I don't think they did it last year either. Yeah.
I'm just messing with you. What that I mean.
Yeah, I never thought that was the greatest idea either. So, but yeah.
I mean, I'm all for favor of everybody playing and leaving no kid behind, but Hudson and the Bay Valley.
That was always a strange one for me too.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah,
agreed.
I'm glad that never actually surfaced too much, but oh well. What are you gonna do?
That's right.
All right.
All right. Well, we're under summer timing rules here, so we better cut this one.
Oh yeah, no problem. Whatever you guys.
Look forward to seeing you. I mean, I'll see you on the lacrosse field this summer. This spring, I should say.
For sure.
So that'll be fun.